behind. We were going to get out with dignity and strength. We weren't going to leave people behind, and we weren't going to leave equipment behind. Think of it, $85 billion worth of brand new equipment we left, and they're one of the largest sellers right now of military equipment in the world. They left 70,000 trucks, many of them armor-plated, 700,000 rifles. I don't know why we had so much equipment over there, but they had it, they bought it, and we left it. Brand new stuff, goggles, night goggles where they can see perfectly, so now the Taliban can fight at night. But you know that, we left it over there. I will say, though, we defeated the ISIS caliphate, and our soldiers are real soldiers. They're not going woke. Nobody's going to talk them into going woke. Those guys did their job, and you're so right. Thank you, Carlos.
And that is former President Trump at a church in Detroit, Michigan. Now, just before, he was actually, you could tell what he was talking about. He was talking about the blunder of a pullout from Afghanistan during the current administration and the loss of lives and the loss of multi-millions of dollars. I think he mentioned billions of dollars of equipment left in Afghanistan once that pullout was completed. The voters there, the church members, the parishioners sitting at that table, impassioned, and you heard the applause. One of the pastors there or the speakers there saying it's time to put our president back in the White House. So we know the sentiment there. The black vote has been a huge talking point this election season. Joining us right now to discuss everything, Democratic strategist Christina Antello and Republican strategist Matt Klink. Thank you both for being with us. Since we have this picture up, I've got to get off of the script a little bit. What do you think Democrats and Republicans, I'm going to ask you both the same question, need to know about the black vote that people perhaps are not understanding? I mean, historically speaking, the black community has voted Democrat for generations. We've seen exceptions to that rule time and time again. We've seen it here in Chicago with voters saying, we're going to switch parties because we're tired of what the Democratic Party has not done for us. So, Christina, I want to talk to you. What do you think? I mean, this is not about making anybody look bad. This is about saying, is there something missing here that Democrats need to pay better attention to and need to change in terms of their messaging?
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here today. I think Democrats have long taken not only the black vote, but also the Latino vote and other communities of color for granted. And they don't talk to them until 3 to 6 weeks before the election. And we're making the same mistake again. Here with the black vote, I think, the way that we have thought about it historically is Trump can't win the black vote or Republicans can't win the black vote. But Trump and his team are being far more sophisticated. And what they are understanding is they don't need to win the black vote. They need to win in larger numbers, increase their percentages of the black vote, increase their percentages of the Latino vote. With that, they're able to win. They're going to win on the margins. What's going to separate this election is going to be 300,000 votes in total across probably 6 states. And when you start doing that math, you don't need to win vast numbers. You need to get to a couple of folks, encourage them to get out and vote, give them a reason to come out and vote and not stay home on their couches or vote the other way. And the Trump team is micro-targeting and getting right in there and knowing that they don't need to win the entire black vote, but they need to come with a message that hits them in their wallets, and they're going to inspire them that way.
Yeah, it hits them in their wallets, and they're also just seeing messaging that they don't necessarily resonate with, like they have in previous administrations. Matt, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Actually, Adrian, believe it or not, I agree with Christina. I think that the Biden administration is really worried about the black vote because, as was just stated, the Democratic Party largely does take the African-American voter for granted. And you're seeing large swaths of black voters and now Latino voters realizing that they're not better off than they were 4 years ago, that the economy is suffering, that everything costs more, that people who have come to this country illegally are taking away benefits and housing from American citizens, and the Biden administration either is powerless to stop it or they don't care enough to stop it. And it's going to make a difference around the margins. And like Christina says, this will be a very close election. And right now, the Donald Trump presidential campaign, they're expanding the places where they are pressuring Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is on defense.
Yeah, I believe the GOP and the Trump campaign opening a Philadelphia field office was quite a statement, previously not having that. But I have another question for both of you, and Christina, I'm going to send it back to you first. There is always a lot of focus on the names and personalities of Trump or Biden and who people like better, but typically voters and I wish this got covered more, so I'll just do it right here on News Nation. They vote on policy. They vote on platform. They really don't care if they like you. They care what's going to affect them in their neighborhoods and their families. So who's winning when it comes to policy? Christina?
You know, I think from my perspective, Democrats have better policies for middle-class America, for families, for voters of color. The thing is, we don't talk about it very well, and we're not being really prolific in how we get around and get those messages out. You know, things like TikTok, for example. Joe Biden got on, and he's got less than 1 million followers. Donald Trump got on, and he got millions upon millions of followers. And kind of how does that happen? And how does the Democratic Party start to respond, and how do we get out there and get the same messaging out? Like we're really not that good at talking about our messaging, even though our policies I think are much better for the American family. And you know, there's been several examples, even from the legislation passed to what now Donald Trump is promising. I mean, he is sitting here promising even lower corporate tax rates for companies, tariffs, all these things that are going to make things so expensive for families. I mean, I represent Walmart. The kind of tariffs that he's talking about are going to really increase prices that when you go shopping on your day-to-day kind of groceries and what have you. But as long as he's saying different things to different people that want to hear that, they're going that way, and Democrats aren't able to counter that messaging just yet.
I like that you used an example. Matt, I'd like for you to also use an example. I assume that you're going to say the Trump campaign is better on policy, but give me one clear example of why.
No, look, I'm going to, first of all, it's rich that Christina says that that Trump's policies are going to raise prices when people are struggling right now and everything that they buy costs more because of Joe Biden's policies. I disagree with you, though. Issues do not win presidential campaigns. Emotion wins presidential campaigns, and vision wins presidential campaigns. And I think that, look, this election, we have 100% name identification on both sides. Nobody is doubting who is president of the United States. The question is whose policies are going to be better for the future. Usually we look forward, but we have clear examples. We have Donald Trump taking over the country after 8 years of Barack Obama, and we had mortgage rates that were historically low. We had low unemployment. We had a thriving economy that got derailed by COVID. Look at Joe Biden. The world is a less safe place. The economy is not doing well unless you're the super rich or a stockholder. Incomes are down. Food prices are up. Gasoline prices are up across the board. So who is going to present the best vision to take us forward? Is it a bumbling 81-year-old man who can't string two sentences together? Or is it Donald Trump, who is able to at least put out a message that's going to increase employment, that's going to lower food costs, and that's going to get our economy moving again? And I think that Donald Trump he's in a much better place right now because Joe Biden can't do it. He's physically not capable.
And that always comes up, and that's a big reason why people are concerned. I think about age and mental health, but the policy, it was so nice. You were so respectful about disagreeing with me. And if we had a little bit more time, I'd respectfully counter. But we're out of time. Christina and Matt, you guys were excellent. I hope we have you back on again real soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
It was a great conversation.
Bye, Christina. Have a good one.